Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fitness with Bama Mobs. As you can notice over my shoulder, another beautiful day in the great state of Alabama. Blue skies, it's just full green here, the month of April. Great time to be outside. As you can tell from my pale, pasty self, I unfortunately work a evening/night shift. So I haven't got out of sun as much as I want to, but I think next week will be a little bit different. On into the workout. As you know from my previous videos, I'm doing the 30 Days Out program by Craig Caperso. Last night, or early this morning, I should say, I work out about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I did a 1 hour walk, got in 3.5 miles, and then I got into the back workout. I'll go through the set reps with you real quick. I did a lat pull down 3x10. I did a seated cable pull with the double handles. That was 5 sets of 6. Then another seated cable with single pulleys. That was 5x5. Moved over and did a couple of sets of rear deltoids, which I know doesn't go with back day, but hey, I threw it in there. Then we moved on to the heavy lat pull down on the machine. That was 10 sets of 3. Then with the machine, did a seated back pull. That was 2 sets of 15. Then we hit the dumbbell rows. That was ascending sets, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then I hit maybe a little bit more at the end. Pretty much torched the back last night, and that's the whole deal of the set rep range. Is a little bit of chaos theory in there, but basically different sets, different reps. You're pushing the weight heavy, and basically he gives it the title Heavy Volume Training, HVT. And as you've seen from a previous video, I've done this before back in 2014, and I lost 18 pounds. Again, different stage of life. I was probably a lot more active even during the daytime back then. And, you know, as you age, I guess I am using it as an excuse, maybe not as active. So far this time around, I've lost, 7 pounds. And my last weigh-in is on Sunday. So this is the 4th week of the program. Moving on to this morning, or coming up when I get off work, I'll be doing bis, tris, abs, and calves. So you do that twice a week. So I'll do bis and tris, abs, calves, get my walk in, and keep pushing from there. As far as dietary, I had an excellent lunch today, man. This would be like what you would want to eat, 4 times a day if you was able to do it, which I guess you could. Just have to put the effort in. But I had 3 chicken tenders grilled with a sort of a Greek seasoning on them, with a side of Brussels sprouts and a side of asparagus. And I think that was just like the perfect meal, to get in. I really didn't focus more on the nutrition piece. And if you go read or look up Craig Caperso, you'll find that he does definitely preach that. You can go in, put that 1 hour in the gym, 1 hour, hour and a half, whatever you want to do. But if you're not tight on the diet and watching yourself the other 23 hours, you'll get benefits. I mean, you'll get cardiovascular benefits, no doubt. But you're not going to get everything you could out of the workout. You're not going to get the whole change in body morphology, physique, so on and so forth. It's all about the diet. Anyway, moving on, hard shift. We're going to go into finance for a minute. Today the stock market closed at $39,699. Well, I don't think that's right. I think that's right. Anyway, I know it's negative 700 points today. Jay Powell, he said something at the Fed. I have not looked that up yet for y'all. Sorry about that, but he came out with something, sort of spooked people a little bit. I was watching CNBC before I left, and they had the CEO for Alcoa. big aluminum company. And basically he was saying it was costing them billions of dollars to create a aluminum smelting plant, here in America. And we import so much aluminum from Canada that it's not really practical for them to build another plant, so on and so forth, that it's going to hurt their downward customers of Alcoa, if this tariff deal keeps going forward. So really just more of the same. American chief executive officer saying, why they can't build plants and do jobs in America. And I have to agree, it's going to be a hard change, man. I mean, you're talking about and if they're saying it's going to take 7 or 10 years, if there's a change in party in the White House at the next election, all that stuff's going to be reversed anyway. It could be a mess, for years. And if you're 50-something or over, people in our age, you're really focusing on retirement now. So, you really can't afford a whole decade of a jacked up stock market. I mean, whatever your earnings are right now in your 401k, Roth, whatever it is, will pretty much stay stagnant, except for your dividends and probably what I call cost of living growth in your stock. Inflation. That'd be about the only change. As far as my personal portfolio, in my 401k, it's real simple. It's really just a time date fund. I'm in the 2035. Heck, I don't even know who it is. Is it Mass Mutual or JP Morgan 2035? I don't even know. But in my personal 401k, I'm personally just doing the match right now. Still building up my Roth for the year. I think I got 3 more payments for that, and then I'll have my, $8,000 in for the year, being greater than age 50. So I have to keep pushing that, stay on target, keep frugal, stay frugal. You got to save for retirement. Party days are over, guys. Yeah, party days are over. Yeah, you better be saving if you're not now. But I will give you my Fidelity Roth portfolio, which is small. It is small. So number one, I have a FXAIX. That's the S&P 500 fund. And I think today it's still hovering around 190. At its peak a couple of months ago, I think I was up at 203 per share, 204 per share. This past paycheck, I bought all FXAIX. My other stock in there is, of course, everybody's honey, Palantir. I have to thank Jeremy on financial education for leading me into Palantir. I was just watching one of his videos one day, and Palantir, basically a year and a half ago, that was like a $10 stock. And when I was watching Jeremy videos, this is probably like last September, October, that's about $40. So I went and bought in, and sort of steadily have bought. I think today, I don't know, they're in the 90s again. When all the tariff stuff first started, they even broke $78. If I had some money right then, or had my paycheck, then I probably just bought all Palantir. But yeah, Palantir, they're hanging in there. There's some news that came out yesterday about chips. So they may be adjusting on how they do the tariffs on chips, maybe not. And so that's still all up in the air. It's between China and U.S. now, how all that's going to go. Other stock, just a blue blood 3M. Stuck with them, man. At one point, I was getting ready to sell them, man, because I was like negative 690 or negative 700 in my 3M stock. But all that stuff about the earplugs, you don't see those commercials on TV anymore because that lawsuit finally got wrapped up. 3M had to pay what they paid, for the earplugs that was assumedly falsely manufactured. And even 3M had another big-time lawsuit. I forgot exactly what it was, but they got past that now. So I think today that's back up at $150 a share when the stock market dropped. I think they got as low as $127. Again, that shows the importance of having some cash reserves. even I have an emergency fund. I was even tempted to grab my whole emergency fund when the stock market crashed and just shove it all in and probably just Palantir and just go from there. But no, if you don't have it, all you can do is sit on the sideline and go, man, I wish I had a couple of grand to throw at that, but no, you don't. So that's it, yeah. So FXAIX, you got the Palantir, you got the 3M. Hey, what is my other stock? This is crazy, man. I just can't. Oh, another blue blood, Coca-Cola. Yeah, Coca-Cola. They're actually up, man. No, it's baseball season, man. People drinking a lot of Coke. You got the picnics going on. People going to the beach, spring break, etc., etc. So I think they're at $70 right now. Yeah, so Coca-Cola, yeah, man, really, I mean, you can have a world war, man. Coca-Cola still going to be Coca-Cola. You know, it's global. Everybody drinks it. Everybody loves it. Now, when you get over to other countries, it might taste a little bit different, but if you've been to the world of Coca-Cola in Atlanta, Georgia, been there for the taste test, you know what I'm talking about. So that's it for my Roth. And I really just have those 4 stocks. I mean, that's all I can really, sort of keep up with. Again, the FXAIX, that's the baby in there. The other 3 is just for me goofing around, for lack of a better word. I do try to make educated decisions, look at the P&E ratio, the earnings. But with 3M and Coca-Cola, you really don't have to worry about that. Palantir, yeah, it's a different animal, but their AI. Even I read about Palantir the other day. They've opened up a big contract with the National Health Service in Great Britain. And they're going to be doing some type of data crunching over there, man. They're going to be using their AI to help them use the data that's already in their system more efficiently. As you know, National Health Service is what it sounds like. It's our national health system in Great Britain. Great Britain, yeah, they pay taxes, but you go into the doctor or go to the hospital and you walk out and there's no bill, which is awesome. Also, their paychecks, yeah, they're not paying a premium per month, but they are paying taxes. I hate to get off into a separate debate, but I'll do a little side debate here for about 1 minute. I always wondered this. People say, well, all these other countries pay all these taxes, man. They got, higher tax like Germany, for their health system, Switzerland, Great Britain, these are Canada. Well, is the premium that we pay per month for health insurance not a tax? I mean, it might as well be. I mean, it's money you're never going to see. And then you could go into the argument, well, they're using that money to pull it together to pay for everybody. Well, it's not that simple. Yeah, they use that money, they throw into the stock market or whatever they want to do, treasuries, whatever, all these billions of dollars, and then they just start making interest off that, off our money. And that's really, what's paying, for the whole health insurance deal. Then you ask yourself, well, God, how can a chief executive officer make, $2-3 million? Well, how they do it is, yeah, again, all these premiums, all this money is not just sitting down at First National Bank. Yeah, it's in the stock market. They're making money off your money. Just like State Farm or Alpha or Allstate or any insurance company in America, it's the same principle. No, the money's just not there on the sidelines. They're using it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Going back to the Roth IRA with Fidelity. Highly recommend Fidelity for any of your financial needs. They do not sponsor this channel. However, I wish they did. Finally, my cash management account. And you're going to love this story. You're going to love this story, man. This shows you that when you're on a computer and you're going to pay a bill, be sure you hit the right button. Be sure you hit the right button. Because this is what happened to me last week. So all this stuff is going on the stock market. I was looking at my cash management account, looking at the stocks I had in there. I had some Rocket Lab. I had some which is a REIT. It's a realty company. It gives monthly dividends. And I actually had VizRox, FZROX. It's a total stock market fund, which I didn't really like me having that because it really felt to be a repeat of my FX AIX, and I was really wanting to get more into international fund, or just put more money in my Rocket Lab. Now, Rocket Lab's my baby, so I'm going to let y'all read up on that for yourselves. Personally, I think myself as a genius, but let me tell you how I came into Rocket Lab. So on Fidelity, on the front page there, it shows the movers and the shakers, or the gainers and the losers, blah, blah, blah. And so Rocket Lab one day, they jumped like 60%, but that was only like a $6 stock. And I started reading, they was in the space exploration, or specifically creating engine systems to aid in space exploration. They're out in California. And, I thought, well, you got Blue Origin, you got SpaceX, and the Rocket Labs will be tied in that pipeline. I always try to look for things that, what are the companies that feeding the big companies? So, long story short, I invested in Rocket Lab at $6. It peaked out at $33. So, total, I think I made about maybe $1,500 or $2,000 off Rocket Lab before everything started dropping. Probably ended up making about $1,300, something like that. So Rocket Lab, the REIT, and the BizRocks, and all that together, I guess that was in the midst of this market crash. I probably got down to 4,800, and at its best, I think I was at 6,200 just a couple of months ago. Bottom line, I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit here and let the market crash and lose all of my gains in my cash management account. Now, the Roth, I'm not going to play with the Roth because, definitely that's long term. So I cashed everything out, had it there on the sideline in my Fidelity cash management account. Oh my God. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Let's see what these people are doing. Had a U-Haul truck just stop in front of me. Anyway, press it on. So Rocket Lab, I sold all that stuff. Now, I had a upgrade I did in my house. I had a bathroom upgrade. So I went to that website and I thought, well, should I pay off my bathroom or make a big payment towards it and save probably close to $700 to $1,000 in interest and basically be paid off on that, or take the money and invest in Nike and maybe a international fund. And I started doing the math, and I said, well, even if the stock market jumps significantly, I'm probably not going to make $700 in this environment. Anyway, on the stocks that I picked. And so I debated about it, and finally I said, forget it. I typed in, I was just going to pay $20 on my bathroom remodel account. And so I did. I paid $20. And the next day I was looking at my checking account, and I was negative 3,300. Negative. I was like, oh my gosh, what has happened? And you start thinking, you're like, okay, I think I know what happened. Yeah, sure enough, I went to the bathroom remodel account, and I had a congratulations there, mates. You have great success. Now your account is paid off. You don't have to worry about it no more. We appreciate you doing business with us. And I'm just there thinking, oh my God. Anyway, I drove to the bank. So I went to the local bank. I said, hey, this is what happened. What can I do? And basically it came down to this. It's like, hey, you got overdraft your credit card. It's going to be $36. Or we could go through the whole process of reversing this, and we can do it in a day or two. No big deal. There can be no charges out of you. And then I finally decided, let's just suck it up and do it, because I need to get rid of that debt anyway. And so I'll have that on my credit card, next paycheck, and the next. I should be able to get that, paid on off, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes. But words to the wise, when you're paying off bills or you're paying a bill, be sure you don't hit the pay the whole fund off. Yeah, because that can be quite a surprise. So anyway, it worked out. And like I said, I'll just pay for it and get that done. So that's going to wrap it up, for today, guys. I appreciate y'all watching the channel. If you would subscribe, leave me a like. It really helps out. Hope you enjoy listening to me. Tomorrow will be just basically another update. We'll see how this 30 days out is going at the gym. Next week, I'll be doing a lot more outdoor content. I'll be taking my walks outdoors, so you'll be able to see that. And just have a good day. If you go into the gym, get stretched out, get warmed up. Don't pull a muscle. It's not worth it at this age, guys. Yeah, if you feel a little tweak there, back off, walk out of the gym, go home. There's definitely always another day. All right, see y'all later. Appreciate y'all watching.